You straddle the worlds of politics and business. How much do they have in common?
A lot, actually. In both business and in politics, it's all about relationships. And what you do is when you have a valuable relationship in business, you tend to have it for a long term. Similarly with politics, I've known people that have started at the very beginning with me have now gone on to senior positions, and those relationships have been invaluable. So there's a lot of similarities as far as relationships and managing relationships and making sure that those relationships tend to be long term and not short term.
Also the negative aspect, I would say.
Well, negative aspects about politics is you don't get paid as much as you do in the private sector. That might be the only negative aspect. But I enjoyed my time in the public sector. I think it gave me a better perspective on what people do in the private sector, and it also allowed me to better understand my role in government. So if I was to ever go back into government, I know exactly what a private sector person requires of their governmental leadership.
Paraphrase The Godfather. It's not politics, it's business. Do you think that applies to the US, Middle East, love-hate relationship?
Well, I mean, it's a small world, and everything is really predicated on who you know, and frankly, well, you know what, I think I take it back. In Washington, D.C., people used to say it's all about who you know. It's really less about that nowadays. It's about what you know, and it's really about expertise. So as the world gets smaller, I think that is really about what you know. And as you continue to build relationships, it allows you to really get a seat at the table, and then it's really about what you know instead of who you know.
I would say that's a very diplomatic way of not answering the question, but answering the question. Considering the media backlash these last few months, what PR lessons could corporate Dubai learn from the Obama administration?
Well, it's interesting about Dubai's backlash, because if you look at what's going on right now, Greece is having a similar, if not worse, situation happen to them. But no one is blaming Greece the way they blamed Dubai. And that was one of the problems that I had was, the entire world blamed Dubai when there were real estate problems in Hong Kong, real estate problems in New York City, real estate problems all over the world, but they wanted to blame Dubai. So one of the things that I've tried to I wouldn't say preach, but talk to the leadership here is it is really not about buying relationships. There's a tendency here to buy the brand, the big brand name. I want to be associated with the biggest and the best. It's not necessarily going to win the day. I think that you need to invest in people and in relationships. If you look at the situation with DP World as a perfect example of when DP World wanted to expand their global reach, there was a lot of backlash in America, and no one stepped forward to protect them, to say, listen, this is wrong, these are my friends, I do business with them. And mainly because they were going after brands, not after relationships. I would submit that if they had really invested in the individuals, there are people that are in mid-sized, small businesses that can do the same, if not a better job than some of these large multinational big brand names. Those people would have stepped forward and say, listen, these are my friends, I know these people, I've had dinner with these people, I work with them every day. I think they would have been in a better situation. So the lesson, frankly, the lesson from Dubai, even if you look at it right now, is to invest in the right relationship and stop buying the brand names. And I think that they're learning this, and we'll see how it goes.
Looking at Bush, I mean, it might have been a lot of other things, but he was also really funny. Unintentionally, probably. But how can companies inject humor into their communication without sounding stupid or not corporate?
Listen, just because you're the most serious person at the party doesn't mean that you're the smartest person or the person that's going to win the day. I have found that when you're in these serious negotiations, there's always someone that you need to break the ice. You always need to have some levity brought into it, and also just people want to do business with people that are human. People that they can relate to and have fun. That's why I think Americans really can have a leg up. They're generally pretty good humored people. They like to make fun of themselves, and they have a tendency to try to reach beyond their relationship. So we'll see how it goes. But I would much rather deal with a person that's really a human being, someone that has ups and downs, someone that has a sense of humor, than someone that's stiff. And it sometimes comes off as pretentious.
You've advised a lot of Fortune 500 companies. How can a small to medium business build that sort of a profile on obviously a modest budget, and is that even possible?
Absolutely. I think that what you want to do is to, there's a lot of people that can, in what we say in America, punch above their weight. It means that you can be a small or mid-sized business, but still deliver the services that a big Fortune 500 company can. One of the things that when I started my business, I wanted to make sure that I was punching above my weight, but I didn't have the budget to do so. So I was very strategic. And so I would get involved with charities, I would get involved with bartering relationships, I would make sure that I was at work earlier than most people, I would make sure that I was staying later. You have to do all these things to get a leg up until you have the resources to expand. And even now, when I work with larger companies, I have a tendency to tell people, we don't have to spend money. Let's focus on earned media, let's focus on things that really make sense, as opposed to just writing a check. I'm probably one of the few consultants or people in my profession that doesn't want to spend money. Most people want to spend money because obviously they try to get a cut of that.
Well, CSR, corporate social responsibility, that's really in,
Oh, yeah.
Especially over here as well, it's picking up. And normally it's about save the world, save the whales, save the environment, save the trees. But I believe you're doing something about saving the music. Could you tell me more about that?
Well, I'm on the board of VH1 Save the Music Foundation, and it's interesting. In America, as budgets start to shrink, they cut back on the extracurricular activities like school programs, basketball, things that make children, frankly, have a little more fun. And Save the Music has been interesting because we help restore music programs. And there's a study out that kids that are involved with music do better in math and science. Young ladies that are involved with music have a tendency to be more leaders, get outside of being shy, and also people that are involved with music programs stay out of trouble. So when they're working on these things, they stay out of harm's way. So this is something that was very passionate for me. I'm not very musically inclined. I'm a great singer in the shower, but never going to make it to the Grammys. But I think it's important that children have an outlet, and the fact of the matter is that kids that are involved with math and science, involved with music, do better in math and science.